Cincinnati and Pittsburgh has thrived on the diamond and, of course, on the gridiron. Tonight, the rivalry gets a new chapter to be written on the pitch. Good afternoon and welcome to Nippert Stadium on the campus of the University of Cincinnati, where a record-setting crowd is expected for the first ever meeting between FC Cincinnati and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Tom Glader happy to be alongside Paul Rockwood as we get you ready for soccer action in the Queen City. And Paul, you're a lifetime Cincinnatian. There's no question. There's not a lot of love lost between the cities of Cincinnati and Pittsburgh.
That's for sure, and it continues on tonight.
Yeah, new rivalry as these two teams come head-to-head. And, Paul, for Cincinnati, they've been playing really good soccer. 4 straight matches unbeaten.
And every night's a new chance to break a record. That we have points in the game when they don't lose.
Yeah, a lot of different guys have done things for FC Cincinnati well, including Sean Coley. The storyline at the other side of the pitch as FC Cincinnati attacks Pittsburgh tonight, well, that's going to be who's not on the pitch. It's their leading scorer, Romeo Parks, 5 of 7 goals this season for Parks, but an ugly incident last week against the New York Red Bulls. He had already been ejected and then put his cleat to the back of Carl Ouimet, was released the next day last Sunday by the Riverhounds and then suspended for the remainder of the season by the USL. So, Paul, without Romeo Parks, you'd have to imagine the Riverhounds almost had to hit the reset button on the season.
Yes, they have, and they've also reset it at the back in the goal. They're going to have a goalkeeper tonight that has not played 1 minute this year, and they'll be searching for a replacement for Parks, and might be Corey Herzog.
Only 2 guys on this roster who have scored this season. Who will get a chance tonight? We'll find out. Starters and a check-in from the pitch when we return. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Yep. Stadium where a cool May Saturday on tap. Temperature in the high 40s. The good news is it is dry and no rain in the forecast for the next 2 hours. Tom Glader alongside Ohio Soccer Hall of Famer Paul Rockwood, where we expect a record crowd for Pittsburgh and Cincinnati, a rivalry that dates back many, many years. And for more on the rivalry and what's going on the pitch, let's go to the third member of our broadcast team, Lindsay Patterson.
Is this the start of something special? And by that, I mean a new rivalry with Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. What better way to get it all started than to have Cincinnati Bengals, Dominic Pecco, Jeremy Hill, Giovanni Bernard, just to name a few. I actually had a chance to talk to Pecco before the match. It's one of the nastiest rivalries when they play it in football, but tonight we'll see if that continues here.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. FC Cincinnati hoping to pick up 3 more points. We will hear more from the Bengals at halftime when Dominic Pecco will join me here in the booth. Tonight's starting lineups are brought to you by your local Toyota dealers, where you could start your next adventure in the first ever RAV4 hybrid. At 34 MPG City, you can go over 500 miles on a tank of gas. John Harkes goes back to the lineup that we saw 2 weeks ago. Austin Berry still out. What does that mean? Paul Nicholson into the starting 11 for FC Cincinnati's gaffer. Remember Nicholson last time when he made his first start of the season here at Nippert Stadium, he scored a goal in that game, a draw for FC Cincinnati. And for Pittsburgh, well, they do make a few changes, and the most notable change, Paul, Mauricio Vargas, the goalkeeper, you mentioned it, in the open, his first appearance of the season, and a ton of pressure against the FC Cincinnati team that's going to come at him from the opening whistle.
That is shocking. They had the other goalkeeper that they had, Gilstrap.
Yeah.
He was right in there, right with Hildebrand.
That's one of the best in the league.
Exactly. And to shake it up like that is it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
Gilstrap had played every minute of the first 6 matches this season. He is not starting today. Instead, it is Mauricio Vargas. You see the tifo going up in the Bailey. Mitch Hildebrandt. Well, no changes there, but he will be in goal for FC Cincinnati. They will get possession to start and wearing new kits. It's an orange out. Fans were encouraged to wear orange for a matchup against a team wearing black and yellow. And therefore, new kits, orange tops, blue shorts, orange socks for FC Cincinnati tonight as we are underway, the first ever meeting between the Riverhounds and FC Cincinnati at Nippert Stadium. Riverhounds knock it out along the far touchline. Tyler Pollock will pick it up and get set to toss it back into play. The Riverhounds 0-3-3. They have not won this season, 3 draws, whereas FC Cincinnati 4-2-2 and unbeaten in their last 4 matches. Nice pickup in the defensive third by Harrison Delbridge. He'll play it forward, and now onto the foot of Sean Okoli. Okoli with a pretty move at midfield, lost control. Riverhounds will pick it up and turn it the other way. Willie Hunt picks up the loose ball, and now it comes back to Mauricio Vargas. And Paul, you can already hear the noise. The Bailey has been fired up for the past hour, and the fans here at Nippert, they're going to be passionate about playing anybody that when the name starts with Pittsburgh.
Yes, that's correct. And the energy you can feel up here in the booth is unbelievable.
Vargas will clear it out of the defensive third, but out of bounds. Throw-in coming for FC Cincinnati. Tonight's keys to the match are presented by Toyota. For all Toyota offers, including those not seen on TV, go to Toyota's official website for deals at buyatoyota.com. And Paul, first and foremost, that clean sheet.
Clean sheet's important. John Harks was saying this week that they've got to defend first, keep their shape, so they don't have these little glimpses of errors. And
the second was the crowd and building off the energy of more than 20,000 that are expected to be here at Nippert Stadium.
That's correct. The players just love that. When they were down against Louisville, the crowd kept in it, and that helped the boys come back.
See Cincinnati knocking it around the midfield. Now back to their defensive third. 3rd minute at Nippert Stadium as both teams feeling themselves out. We talked about it in the open. It'll be interesting to see the shape that Pittsburgh takes as they try to figure out who they are without Romeo Parks, their leading scorer, and really their catalyst so far this year.
That's right. They're starting out with 4 backs, 5 middies, and then Herzog up front. And they're putting more pressure on than any of the other games that I observed scouting this team.
Here comes the pressure from FC Cincinnati. Okoli forward to Wiedemann. He tried to feed it into the middle. It was knocked away from McLaughlin and then picked up along the end line. Marshall Hollingsworth is there, but he could not hold on to it along the touchline. And FC Cincinnati with a throw-in deep in the offensive third. Corbin Bone. Wiedemann now outside McMahon. He can be dangerous. Swings it in onto the foot of McLaughlin. Over to Wiedemann. Plenty of guys on this FC Cincinnati roster who can score. Pittsburgh breaks it up and clears it, but it goes right out of bounds at midfield as Lebo Mulatto could not catch up with it. Throw in for Pat McMahon.
This is the pressure that they worked on a lot this week at training.
Paul, we talk about it a lot. FC Cincinnati has the weapons to come out, to press, and create chaos at the offensive end. But when you're playing against a team that's reeling, that has a new goalkeeper in, do you have to do that even more?
Oh, yes, definitely. They have to put him under pressure right from the get-go, test him out, and with the numbers that they have in the box and the attacking third right now, this should definitely do it. We just have to get some shots off.
Kenny Walker over to McLaughlin. Tried to left foot it towards Vargas. Didn't get it there, and Pittsburgh is going to try to work in transition. Almost a foul on Kenny Walker. Ends up knocked out of bounds by Tyler Pollock. And a throw-in coming for Pittsburgh right at midfield. You can hear the Bailey rocking here in the early moments at Nippert Stadium. Last I heard, somewhere north of 22,000 are expected here at Nippert Stadium, which would eclipse the record, the regular season USL record set 4 weeks ago on April 16th against Louisville City, and would also break the all-time USL record that was set in the postseason. So for regular season or postseason, it is expected that FC Cincinnati will have a new record when it's all said and done tonight. And the folks who have come to Nippert Stadium are hoping they'll have 3 points as well. In the meantime, a corner kick coming for the Riverhounds, and it's Kevin Kerr, the midfielder out of England, who will swing it in. Sends it to the box. First chance for Pittsburgh. Goes through the box, and Pat McMahon will get to the corner, send it out to midfield. Nobody home for FC Cincinnati. It's picked up by Stefan Oki. Sent back forward, knocked away by Nicholson, and a long ball for Wiedemann. Does he have numbers? One-on-one. Wiedemann outside the box. Vargas off his line. Wiedemann takes a shot. Vargas with a save. Wiedemann the rebound. Vargas gets a piece of it, and nobody got forward for FC Cincinnati to poke it in.
They were deep in their own end, and it's hard to get up there, particularly when you take a long drive up the field to one player. For everybody to get up there, that's very hard.
Wiedemann with 2 shots, and Vargas, despite being way off his line, does a good job at stopping Wiedemann twice. Now Tyler Pollock is knocked down. No whistle from the match official. At midfield, Harrison Delbridge gets his head onto it. Today's official is Brandon Artis. A linesman, William Gather III, Adam Garner, and the 4th official is Kyle Most. Tyler Pollock knocked down in the midfield. Ball comes out to Kenny Walker, who sends it forward. Jimmy McLaughlin, here he comes. Towards the 18, over to Coley, who tried to give it right back, but McLaughlin misread him.
Great patience by the midfield.
Foul is going to be called on Kenny Walker, much to the chagrin of the fans here at Nippert Stadium. We'll get another look. And check it was on a Walker. It was on Harrison Delbridge playing forward. And looked like he gave him a little bit too much of a hug.
Sometimes you have to let them know where you are.
And apparently, to the definition of Brandon Artis, that's what Harrison Delbridge did. Another foul called on FC Cincinnati, so a free kick coming just inside the touchline for Marshall Hollingsworth, the 5'8" midfielder. Pittsburgh knocking it around the midfield. And now sending it forward in the direction of Corey Herzog, the young man we expect to try and pick up some of the scoring slack for Pittsburgh.
So great interplay between Thomas and Corbin.
Pollock back to Delbridge, all the way to the defensive third for FC Cincinnati. Tried to get it in the midfield, misplayed it onto the foot of Molato. Molato with a nifty move to keep possession. Here comes Pittsburgh into the offensive third. Nice block by Tyler Pollock on the blast from the right side off the foot of Kevin Kerr. Kerr picks it up into the box, sends it into the middle, nearly gets it back. Andrew Wiedemann has to come in to clear it out along the touchline. It'll be a throw-in, but starting to see some pressure from Pittsburgh as they look more comfortable now in the 8th minute.
Yes, they're definitely putting the pressure on the Cincinnati backs.
Corey Herzog to throw it in from the near sideline. Back all the way against the wall along the stands, and here we go, into the box. Knocked around, cleared away by Tyler Pollock, but kept in play by Oki, who sent it forward. Kenny Walker in a collision just at the top of the box. No whistle. Walker slow to his feet, as is one of the Riverhounds. Ross Tomaselli picks it up the other way. FC Cincinnati looking for some action in transition. And now Wiedemann will pull it back as he doesn't have numbers. Walker appears to be okay after the collision moments ago. Gets it at midfield. Over to Tomaselli, and he has to go back to Harrison Delbridge. Pittsburgh without a win this season. FC Cincinnati has 4. They picked up 4 points, playing 2 on the road, 1 in the rain at Orlando City B, and then drew with Harrisburg City. And one of the Riverhounds is down.
Polarak, he's the one that was, when Walker, those two collided up the field, and he got back, but when the ball went out of bounds, he was done.
Sergio Campbell, the defender out of Jamaica. Let's see. Grabbed his right leg after heading the ball away from Sean Okoli. And he appears to be in a ton of pain.
And they just signaled, one of the players right there just signaled to get somebody warmed up to get a sub in.
And remember, in the USL, you get 5 subs, so it's not devastating for Mark Steffens if he has to go to his bench in the first half. It's part of the league rules, gives you a little more flexibility in that regards, but he probably wasn't planning to go to his bench as early as he may now be forced to. So an extended conversation for Sergio Campbell as we are in the 11th minute at Nippert Stadium. Tom Glenner happy to be alongside Paul Rockwood. Lindsey Patterson is our sideline reporter as we will check in with her throughout the afternoon. The first ever meeting between FC Cincinnati and Pittsburgh. You see Mitch Hildebrandt. He is the only member of the FC Cincinnati club that has played every minute this season. And one of your keys tonight, Paul, was the clean sheet. There's nobody in this stadium who wants to see that clean sheet more than Mitch Hildebrandt, FC Cincinnati's goalkeeper.
That is correct. He works so hard, and he comes up with some humongous saves on the PK, and he just works so hard.
Hildebrandt on the season, a 1.25 goals against average. He's saved 70% of the shots that he has faced. And he awaits to see as Sergio Campbell now has come off of the regulation pitch, and they'll give him a minute to see if he can regroup and then return to the match. No substitute has come out to midfield, so Pittsburgh will play it man down for a moment.
Yeah. They'll wave him on if he deems himself. Looks like he's holding his arm more than anything else.
He's going out to midfield on the far side to see if he is able to return. He was in a great deal of pain, but appears as though he will not have to come out permanently. Mauricio Vargas sends it out across midfield. Nobody home for FC Cincinnati, for Pittsburgh. And Delbridge will turn it around for the home lads and send it to his goalkeeper. We've seen FC Cincinnati strike early in their first 2 matches of the home schedule back on April 9th and April 16th. Did not score until the second half against Wilmington on April 30th. And we are scoreless here as we turn to the 13th minute at Nippert Stadium. FC Cincinnati loses it out of bounds on the far side. And a throw-in coming for Corey Herzog.
We don't want to rely upon this, but Pittsburgh's given up most of their goals in the second half.
They've given up 11 this season through 6 matches. Mitch Hildebrandt lets the ball go through on a couple of missed headers across the box. Then he scoops it up quickly and tries to send it out to midfield for Sean Okoli.
A bit of indecision on his part tonight right there.
Michael Green picks it up for Pittsburgh. On to Okai. Okai into the middle of the pitch. And now played backwards to Willie Hunt. I would imagine that Pittsburgh's not going to be overly aggressive, knowing how Cincinnati can hurt you if you make a mistake.
They're going to be cautious. They have no wins, and getting a point or points here would be
a huge victory. Oh. Yeah. Even a draw, I would think, for the Riverhounds would be huge. Sean Okoli across the middle of the pitch. Touches it off to McLaughlin. Now back to Pollock. And all the way back to Harrison Delbridge. Fans continuing to file in at Nippert Stadium, where again we expect an attendance number north of 22,000.
Good look to Pat-Man.
Long ball into the corner. McMahon knocks it off a defender, and a great job defensively by Pittsburgh.
One of the big improvements I've seen with Cincinnati is how they're tracking back much faster, getting on the ball so the other team can't do a quick counterattack.
Marshall Hollingsworth, who's throwing it in, did a great job deflecting the ball away from Pat McMahon down in the corner to stifle the FC Cincinnati offensive attack. Throwing for Pittsburgh, headed away by Pat McMahon. And actually, they're going to say it went off of Drew Russell and into the FC Cincinnati bench. So a throw in coming for the home club. Pat McMahon will bring it back into play. Sean Coley over to Delbridge. Wisely turns it onto his left to Tyler Pollock. Ross Tomaselli tried to play it long for Jimmy McLaughlin, but a touch too strong, and it ends up on the foot of Mauricio Vargas.
That's called having good spider sense right there. You know where that person is, so you can turn away from him.
Vargas was making the run. Kenny Walker will turn it back to Vargas. And now Pittsburgh out across the midfield. Pat McMahon into the middle of the pitch. Kenny Walker. Walker is cut down, and a foul is called on Pittsburgh. Walker will waste no time putting it into play. Corbin Bone, Jimmy McLaughlin just outside the box, gets a foot on it, and Vargas able to make a save without much trouble.
That's great, quick free kick by Kenny Walker. He just set it and played it and took Pittsburgh's midfield by surprise.
Get into the game through the USL's social media channels. Follow the USL on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram for news, live game updates, and video highlights from across the league. 16th minute scoreless here at Nippert Stadium. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, great rivalries in football and baseball. And now continuing onto the soccer pitch here at the campus of the University of Cincinnati and in the United Soccer League. Paul Nicholson gets his head on it in the defensive third. Played it forward to Ross Tomaselli, now out across midfield. Tomaselli heads it down, and a foul is called. Pittsburgh will restart it just behind the midfield stripe.
This is totally against the way Pittsburgh's been playing the first part of the year, where they absorb attacks, and look for a quick counterattack. But without Parks, they've had to come up with a new situation, new strategies.
If you are just joining us, Romeo Parks, the forward out of Jamaica, was released on Sunday despite being the leading scorer for the club and being the third leading scorer in the USL. A nasty occurrence against New York Red Bulls, too. Wiedemann over to Corbin Bone, who couldn't get it quite enough of it, and it would not have mattered, Paul. The flag was up. FC Cincinnati was offsides.
Great attacking looks. This is what they need.
Wiedemann
This
got
was
it
in
just
too soon.
Yeah.
But they've been really working on quick play in the middies and up front this week.
Here comes quick play from Pittsburgh, and a shot just wide of Mitch Hildebrand. It was Drew Russell who got a foot on it. Hildebrand didn't touch it, so he goal kicked, but a dangerous situation, and the best look today for Pittsburgh came moments ago.
Good through ball right behind McMahon. But Hildebrand, he was in a good starting position, which forced the shot wide.
Russell just missed, about a foot wide of the goal. McLaughlin plays it off a deflection to Andrew Wiedemann, top of the box. Now outside, Pat McMahon. See Cincinnati working on their buildup. McMahon taps it towards the corner. And you can see he kind of put his head back. He knew the guys had a chance there, and he just lost it out in the corner.
He had 5 guys in the box. Wiedemann at the top of the box. I'd like to see him turn and take a shot right there.
Throw in for Pittsburgh onto the foot of Mulatto. And he'll work up the near side, but Kenny Walker and Pat McMahon there to disrupt. Foul was called after Kenny Walker had picked up possession. And it'll be Walker bringing it across the middle of the field. Corbin Bone to Sean Coley. Coley loses it. and Pittsburgh will regroup. It's Kevin Kerr. Up to the near sideline, Drew Russell looking for the pass. Pat McMahon gets his head on it, but he goes out along the touchline. And a throw in at the offensive third coming for Pittsburgh. Marshall Hollingsworth to send it back into play. Right into the middle of the pitch. FC Cincinnati's there to knock it away. Would have been a foul, but a play on is called. Coley forward to Corbin Bone, who tried to chip it into the box, but nobody pushing forward to the New Orange Kits. And it ends up in the hands of Mauricio Vargas. The goalkeeper, 6'3", out of Costa Rica. He calls himself a native of Costa Rica, but interestingly enough, was born in Somerville, New Jersey, and holds dual citizenship in the United States and Costa Rica. Been a part of Costa Rica's national youth programs and moved there as an infant shortly after his birth. Playing his first minutes of the season, Hunter Gilstrap has been the goalkeeper for the first 6 matches this season for Pittsburgh, but a change tonight for Mark Steffens, the Huntington, New York native, now in his 2nd year leading the Riverhounds.
That could be an injury as well. We haven't heard anything yet as a report.
Kenny Walker plays it back to Harrison Delbridge. Gilstrap is dressed tonight as one of the possible 7 substitutes for Pittsburgh. Knocked out of bounds, near side, throw-in coming for Pittsburgh. Throw-in will come to midfield. Pat McMahon headed it forward for FC Cincinnati, and now it's onto the foot of Jimmy McLaughlin. Looking to go wide with it. Turns it into the midfield instead, and Corbin Bone. Jimmy McLaughlin going to bring it all the way out to midfield, and now back to Harrison Delbridge. Long ball for McMahon into the corner. Let's see what Pat can do. Tried to knock it into the box. Instead, went off the face of Marshall Hollingsworth. Out of bounds along the touchline. Throw-in will come for McMahon. Deep in FC Cincinnati's offensive third.
That may set up Hollingsworth next time for a fake kick, and then Pat can go ahead and push it to the byline and try to get a cross in.
Not much for the home club on the throw-in off the leg of Jimmy McLaughlin, right out of bounds and a few yards away. Pittsburgh will bring it back into play. Kenny Walker trying to pick it up, can't do so, but Tyler Pollock is there. Into the middle, Sean Coley. Coley taps it off to McMahon, now out wide to McLaughlin. McLaughlin again,
2 in a row.
Knocks it off the face of Hollingsworth, who goes down like a prized fighter. As McLaughlin turned and blasted it into the face of the 5'8" midfielder Marshall Hollingsworth. And he immediately fell to the pitch, where the medical staff now attending to him. Oh. You can see slowly.
That's
not
2 in about
knocked out,
1 minute.
but yeah, that you're right, absolutely.
And those balls aren't soft.
I mean, he looked like, and maybe I'm just in this mode because I watched Creed the other day, but he looked like a boxer after he takes an uppercut to the side of his face as he slowly
2 steps backwards.
Yeah, 2
and then
steps
he sat
and
down
to the mat.
Yeah.
So they're going to give him a chance as we will take one more look at it from the far side, and it goes right off his temple. Yeah, absolutely. So McLaughlin trying to make something happen offensively for FC Cincinnati, and Marshall Hollingsworth just doing his job, and his job has been rough the last few minutes as they're going to take their time attending to Hollingsworth, and he may have to at least come off the pitch for a few minutes. May not check out, but at least come off, chat with the trainer. You see Jimmy McLaughlin go over and shake his hand. And FC Cincinnati will again, at least for the moment, play a man up.
He's going to say I'm okay, but
the medical staff is going to have the final word on that. See, he's going to undergo a series of tests down on the sideline. Pittsburgh will play it long to Mitch Hildebrandt. Now FC Cincinnati in their defensive third will turn it the other way. Hollingsworth remains out as he gets attention, so FC Cincinnati with the man advantage. McMahon with a nifty move to move it forward. Defended well and deflected by Willie Hunt. Comes out along the touchline right in front of Pittsburgh's bench. Throw in for Pat McMahon. Jimmy McLaughlin let it go through to Corbin Bone. Bone into the middle of the box. Here's Sean Okoli. And he knocked it about 10 yards too high over the goal. Great look for the talented striker who leads FC Cincinnati in scoring.
Once again, good cross inside. Find Sean. Lean back. That's your result.
Well, Pittsburgh did a good job defending it as well. If he puts that one on the goal, there's a good chance it's deflected by one of the four guys in the yellow jersey.
Absolutely. That's why you have to take shots. Worst shot is the one not taken.
Long ball for Wiedemann, pulling it towards the corner, far side of the pitch. Swings it into the box, doesn't get to McLaughlin, headed away by Pittsburgh, but Kenny Walker just outside the box picks it up. Strikes it with his right foot, had a goal against Orlando City from about that spot. It's deflected by Pittsburgh, but FC Cincinnati will keep the possession. Into the midfield, Paul Nicholson. Over to his left, Harrison Delbridge. This is an orange-out game here at Nippert Stadium, so fans were encouraged to wear orange against Pittsburgh. And FC Cincinnati wearing orange socks and orange tops as part of their kit for the first time.
We like the matchup of Okoli and Hollingsworth, who's back in now.
Pat McMahon on to Jimmy McLaughlin, and you can hear the large crowd here in Cincinnati getting into this one. Scoreless in the 26th minute. Sean Okoli taps it forward. Jimmy McLaughlin. Here we go. Right footed shot. No. And on the second effort, Jimmy McLaughlin stuffs it into the net. And FC Cincinnati's on the board. Second goal of the season for the midfielder out of Pennsylvania, and FC Cincinnati with a first half lead.
Sean Okoli, great ball. Get the shot off. Second ball, it must be, and it is. That was a catalyst right there of Okoli.
McLaughlin beats Connor Branson. And then it's up to Mauricio Vargas, and John Harkes fired up on the FC Cincinnati bench. We talk so often, Paul, about all the different guys that can hurt you on this FC Cincinnati roster. And McLaughlin is one, Okoli is another. And when you combine them, they're very hard to stop defensively.
Wiedemann, Walker. It's just a whole plethora of players that we've seen a lot of the teams that come in. They have one or two guys that if you could shut them down, oh, this can't be good.
Pittsburgh with numbers the other way. Kevin Kerr into the box. Mitch Hildebrandt with a big save. Turned away as Mitch says no.
Well, that's a psychological save as well. Great initial tackle. Mitch comes out. As soon as the ball was pushed by.
And then Ross Tomaselli does a great job of clearing it.
Yep.
And Hildebrandt.
I'm impressed with this referee tonight.
Brandon Artis checking with Hildebrandt to make sure he's okay. You see that he's grimacing a little bit. Coming from a coach, that's not something you hear often.
No, he's got control of the match so far.
Absolutely. I don't think there's any question about that. 29th minute, FC Cincinnati with the 1-0 advantage. Thanks to the goal 2 minutes ago by Jimmy McLaughlin, his second of the season. Give the assist to Sean Okoli, his second assist of the year. Okoli leading the team in points right now. Kenny Walker to clear it forward for FC Cincinnati right over the head of Sean Okoli all the way back and onto the foot of Vargas. Ball knocked out of bounds onto the sideline. Pittsburgh clears it out of play as Hollingsworth is back down to one knee. He had checked back into the match, and now he's going to come out because Hollingsworth still having trouble. After getting knocked in the head on the shot moments ago, he came back in, and now he's sitting down. And Paul, we're going to see, and I think it's the right decision by Mark Steffens to bring Isaiah Schaefer, the defender out of Colorado, into the match, as Hollingsworth clearly still facing some of the troubles after 2 shots in a row to the head. Let's go back to the goals. Mitch Hildebrand is bleeding, so he'll get some attention. But Jimmy McLaughlin and this offensive attack hooking up to give FC Cincinnati the lead.
Paul Nicholson lays it into Sean. Back to Jimmy. Great second effort. Great goal.
And slips it right by Vargas, who nearly got the second save. And I'll tell you what, as we see Mitch Hildebrand's asking for some help, he has blood coming off of his head, so he got nicked
on that save down there
moments ago.
Yes.
And here is the substitution for the Riverhounds in the 30th minute. Hollingsworth out after 2 shots to the head, and Isaiah Schaefer comes in.
On the goal that we just replay, it was great to see how there was some patience in the midfield, back to Paul, and then he made a pass into the target. Target turns, puts it through to Jimmy, and then we score. Great teamwork.
You can see Aaron Powell, the trainer for FC Cincinnati, patching up Mitch Hildebrand. Over on the FC Cincinnati bench, so the substitution plus the blood coming from the left temple of Mitch Hildebrand has brought us to a temporary stop. I would imagine that we'll see at least a couple minutes of stoppage time once we get to the 45th minute due to the goal and a few injuries here in the first half. We have yet to see a booking. Make sure you stay with us at halftime. We showed you at the top of the broadcast a few Bengals on hand to be honorary captains, and Domata Peko will join us at halftime. He's an avid soccer fan. Here's the
right
save.
Here you can see the ball is pushed a little bit too far, and Mitch, on that particular touch, he comes out, and then you can see where the cleat gets him in the face.
So that's where he got nicked after the save on the contact. Mitch will head back to the mouth of the goal, just in front of the Bailey, which is packed and rocking tonight with FC Cincinnati on top 1-0.
It's important right here to put more pressure on Pittsburgh.
Pat McMahon and Drew Russell with a nasty collision right in front of the FC Cincinnati bench. John Harks attending to Russell, and the athletic training staff wildly busy here in the first half for Pittsburgh. Let's get another look.
And yes, that's deserved. That's deserved. Tried to keep him from going past him. Right at midfield, a yellow card was well deserved, yes.
So a yellow card handed out on Pat McMahon in the 33rd minute. First booking of the match.
I mean, sometimes players go ahead and play it up a little bit. That just happened.
Michael Green sending it into the box. Mitch Hildebrand punches it forward, and then Tyler Pollock with the clear all the way out to midfield. Wiedemann trying to pick it up there, and it's knocked all the way back onto the foot of Vargas. And now it's Michael Green up the near sideline into the FC Cincinnati bench as he misstrikes it. And the home team will get a throw in.
Back to my point, Cincinnati has to keep the pressure on Pittsburgh because right now they're psychologically wounded from all the activity this week and turmoil in the team.
Well, you've lost a starter in Hollingsworth, who has played 440 minutes coming in. He's on loan from the Columbus Crew, and the Crew in Pittsburgh have an affiliation. So a couple guys on loan right now from just up the road here in the state of Ohio. Paul Nicholson playing it forward. And there's no question, Paul, if you can get another goal or two here on Pittsburgh, whether it be late in the first half or early in the second half, Wiedemann picks it up just outside the box. Here we go. Corbin Bowen tried to play it to himself. And no whistle from Brandon Artis, much to the chagrin of the fans here in the Queen City. Pittsburgh, in the meantime, will work in the midfield. Over to the left side, Mulatto knocks it forward, and it's broken up by Paul Nicholson. Tomaselli turns on it, but knocks it out of bounds. Throw-in coming for Pittsburgh. But no question, I would think that you're looking at a club that hasn't won a match this year, lost their leading scorer. If they go down by 2 or more here on the road in front of 22,000 plus, psychologically that's got to play a big factor. FC Cincinnati have fouled deep in their own end. Let's go down to the pitch and check in with Lindsey Patterson.
I had a chance to talk to the Riverhounds coach before the match started about the goalkeeper change today, Mauricio Vargas. I think one of his concerns was he's a young guy that they had to bring in, but feel like he can contribute even though he is inexperienced.
Well, Vargas, I think, has played pretty well so far.
He just had that one indecision there, and the rest of it's been pretty steady.
Had a couple saves on Andrew Wiedemann early. Had the initial save on what ended up being the Jimmy McLaughlin goal. 35th minute, 1-0 FC Cincinnati. Free start kick into the box, cleared by FC Cincinnati. And a foul was actually called. The ball will come back to Mitch Hildebrandt and then be sent forward by Hildebrandt, wearing the neon green goalkeeper kit today to contrast his teammates in orange and blue. The officials in black. And Mauricio Vargas wearing the gray goalkeeper kit for Pittsburgh. Kenny Walker tried to clear it or send it across the pitch to Andrew Wiedemann, who was making a run along the far side, but it was deflected right to Vargas.
It's a great idea, great change.
Well defended by Pittsburgh. Michael Green plays it back, now sent forward. Paul Nicholson going to track it down and put it onto the foot of Mitch Hildebrandt. Into the midfield, and Pittsburgh will regain control. Ross Tomaselli at midfield. Over to Harrison Delbridge and back to Mitch Hildebrandt. Nike is a proud partner of the USL. Follow at Nike Soccer on Twitter for all of the latest Nike soccer information. Michael Green back to his goalkeeper Vargas, who nearly misplays it. Ends up being broken up by Corbin Bone, but Pittsburgh able to regroup with Stephen Oka.
So that should show Sean Okoli keep going next time, because he might goof up again.
Pittsburgh trying to make something happen in the offensive third. Okai right at the top of the box. Knocks it off to his left, Mulatto. And now far side, swung into the box. Hildebrandt there with no trouble as Corey Herzog couldn't catch up with it.
He had McMahon and Delbridge on Herzog, one in front, one behind, and that let Hildebrandt take it unscathed.
At McMahon up the near sideline. Sean Okoli heads it in the direction of Tomaselli. And now off to Jimmy McLaughlin. Pat McMahon. Okoli was looking for McLaughlin wide and intercepted by Michael Green. Green plays it forward, but Pollock picks it up. Pittsburgh and FC Cincinnati volleying it back and forth across midfield. And now Wiedemann to Kenny Walker.
It's a midfield game. Then we go to Corbin.
Corbin Bone had it just outside the midfield circle and lost it onto the foot of Drew Russell.
He's trying to put Jimmy McLaughlin through on the outside right here.
Mulatto forward. Pollock couldn't get to it, and then he taps it away from Mulatto. But Pittsburgh doing a pretty good job here in the first half, Paul, and creating some possession for themselves.
Yes, absolutely. They are definitely moving the ball around, winning the ball back quickly, being very disruptive. Okai is very disruptive in the mid for Pittsburgh.
You know, we talked a lot, Paul, about trying to figure out what the mentality would be for the Riverhounds without Romeo Parks, as a long ball is played for Sean Okoli. I'll get back to that thought in a moment. Okoli in the corner, working on his footwork. Two defenders. Can he beat them both? Nearly. But finally it's Michael Green getting a toe on it and disrupting things. You know, trying to figure out what the mentality would be of this team, and they certainly have not been intimidated by FC Cincinnati or the large crowd.
Yeah, I had thoughts that they might come in a wounded animal and and kind of just be afraid, but they have just come right at Cincinnati tonight.
Regardless, FC Cincinnati leading 1-0 in the 40th minute thanks to the second goal of the season off the foot of Jimmy McLaughlin, the midfielder out of Malvern, Pennsylvania. Really more of a forward in the starting lineup for John Harkes.
Great interplay there between Corbin and Sean Okoli. Great interplay.
Mulatto out in the midfield for Pittsburgh. About 6 minutes remaining on the clock. Of course, we're going to see a good couple minutes of stoppage time. Had a few injury stoppages already, as well as a goal. And here comes the first booking of the match for Pittsburgh, as Mulatto will be sent into the book. He cut down Jimmy McLaughlin. Second yellow card of the season for Lebo Mulatto.
Yellow card number 22, Lebo Mulatto.
What do you see here, Paul, that earns him the booking?
Well, studs up, coming from the side where Jimmy wasn't even looking. You got to come from an angle where there has to have the person with the ball has to have some chance to see him.
First yellow card called on Pittsburgh as we are in the 41st minute. Corbin Bone receives the pass down the far sideline. Plays it backwards to the foot of Andrew Wiedemann. Now Bone into the middle of the pitch. Sean Okoli's pulled down right at the top of the box. That potentially could have been a penalty kick. Instead, we're going to see a foul called right at midfield on FC Cincinnati as Corey Herzog is grabbing his head, and Kenny Walker as well as Corbin Bone are in there asking Brandon Artis where the foul call is at the top of the box when Sean Okoli got cut down.
That's right. You've got to protect your teammates. Yeah, there's always going to be a physical fight in there, but
Willie Hunt got tied up with Sean Okoli. And there's no question, Paul, that Sean Okoli, after his quick start to the season, of course, he had that scissor kick in the inaugural match here at Nippert Stadium back on April 9th. It was the goal of the month in the USL. A spectacular goal for Okoli. But ever since that quick start to the season, he's had a major target on his back every time he's on the pitch.
well, he's just so dynamic as a player. He can hold the ball well. He can turn. You saw the assist, and they're not very smart if they don't put a guy on front and back. He's done.
And here you see Marshall Hollingsworth is going to go up to the locker room. As you see Angelo Colosimo, he's the team physician for FC Cincinnati, escorting him actually to the FC Cincinnati locker room so that he can examine him there. Hollingsworth, if you're just joining us, took 2 shots to the head, both with the soccer ball, but within 60 seconds of each other. Came back into the match and then could not continue. He checked out, Schaefer in. In the meantime, FC Cincinnati looking for numbers. Here's Wiedemann just outside the box. Brings it in, looking for a shot, able to keep possession. Great defensive pressure from Ryan Dodson. As Wiedemann trying to pull it towards the corner, Dodson pokes it out. Throw-in coming for Tyler Polak inside the offensive third for FC Cincinnati. Wiedemann and Polak playing it back and forth. Over to McLaughlin. McLaughlin just outside the box. Leaves it for Wiedemann. And Pittsburgh able to regroup. Good defense as Mulatto came up with it.
If he could have brought the ball over to Tomaselli or Pat McMahon, woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Ball forward way too strong for Herzog. Ends up in the hands of Hildebrandt. And no trouble for FC Cincinnati's goalkeeper. Paul Nicholson bringing it up the near sideline. Played it forward, and I thought the way everybody kind of stopped, I thought maybe there was a whistle that I did not hear.
No, Sean didn't go to play because they'd been offside. So,
okay, so he held back.
Now somebody else would have run on to the ball and play on.
Okai knocks it out at the midfield. You see John Harkes continually coaching up his lads as they're looking to pick up 3 big points. Right now tied for third in the Eastern Conference with 14 points, a record of 4-2-2. 3 points would be huge here at home today. 44th minute, FC Cincinnati with the 1-0 advantage. Far sideline, Kevin Kerr with Harrison Delbridge there defensively. Delbridge pokes it out of bounds. Quick throw-in coming for the Riverhounds, and now they're going to take their time and try to get one more scoring opportunity before heading to the locker room.
That's why they like to get Shaper to throw it to Hunt, who deflects it backwards. We'll see. He's got a long throw in.
Here comes the throw-in. Into the box, headed away. I think it was Wiedemann who got a head on it. Jimmy McLaughlin tried to save it from being a corner kick. He could not. And Pittsburgh going to get another look.
When you have a player like that that can throw the ball in there, it's like a bonus corner kick.
No question.
And then they try to flick it on. That draws two defenders. Somebody's open backside.
Pittsburgh looking for an equalizer here in the waning moments. They go with a short corner, played over to Okai. Can't create any danger. And now Tyler Polak puts his foot on it and knocks it forward.
Offsides.
5 minutes as Pittsburgh was offsides. 5 minutes of stoppage time. Not much of a surprise there considering the injury situations that Pittsburgh faced. Also, you had Mitch Hildebrandt drawing some blood. So 5 minutes of stoppage time coming. And now maybe FC Cincinnati a chance to push forward, put another one on the board, and that would be big at the other end, as we talked about, for that psychological advantage going into the locker room at halftime.
That is gigantic, doing that, coming into halftime with a bonus goal there. The last 5 minutes.
Andrew Wiedemann trying to catch up with it along the end line. Cleared away and unable to keep it into play, so Mauricio Vargas will get a goal kick. And Pittsburgh will play it the other way. The Riverhounds working right to left here in the first half in their primarily yellow kits with a black stripe across the front. Never seen a team in orange against a team in yellow when Cincinnati and Pittsburgh get together, have you? Corbin Bone, long ball, had to play it off his back and then regroup. Now puts his right foot onto it. And Vargas gets a hand on it and pokes it over the goal. A big save for Vargas, but a corner kick coming up for FC Cincinnati.
And this is exactly what you want. You push it by the defender. The goalkeeper is unsighted for a bit, and then all of a sudden you go for that back corner.
That was on
Side
frame.
netting.
Yeah, that's going in if Vargas doesn't get a hand on it. A great look by Corbin Bone. He's one of the guys that has not yet scored this year. He has 3 assists, but you know it's only a matter of time until he puts one in the back of the net. Tyler Polak will swing it in with his left foot. Corner kick from the near side. Into the box. Bouncing around. Delbridge nearly got there, but it was well defended by Willie Hunt. Rolls out of bounds. Throw-in coming for FC Cincinnati. Still about 3 minutes of stoppage time remaining.
And watching the Pittsburgh team over the last couple games, they've been very, very tentative in marking in the back on set pieces. So that's one of Cincinnati's strengths. So we look forward to that either soon here or second half.
Shauna Coley on the inbounds pass. It goes out and it'll be a throw-in for the Riverhounds. Fans here at Nippert Stadium were looking and hoping for a foul to be called as Coley was double teamed along the far touchline. Corbin Bone intercepts the throw in, then loses control of it. And another throw in coming for Pittsburgh. Interesting to note, Pittsburgh this season at home 0-3. On the road, 0-3. All 3 of their draws have come on the road. So they've only seen draws on the road and losses at home. Still looking for their first win. FC Cincinnati 1-1-1 here at Nippert Stadium so far this season.
Well, let's see if we can get them their first loss tonight.
Tyler Polak, long ball for Andrew Wiedemann, pulling it towards the corner. Sends it into the box. Corbin Bone is there, but Pittsburgh deflects it away. Sergio Campbell turns on it and sends it out of bounds. Throw-in coming. Still about 90 seconds remaining here in the first half. Thanks for joining us on a chilly but dry Saturday afternoon. Glad to have you, whether you're joining us on television, on Local 12, on the radio, on ESPN 1530, or joining us via the USL YouTube channel. Out across midfield, Paul Nicholson sends it to the far touchline. Tyler Pollock turns on it. Sean Okoli trying to catch up with it. Campbell got there first and turns it back to his goalkeeper, Mauricio Vargas, who made his first start of the season today. Pat McMahon. Now Pittsburgh picking it up with Drew Russell. Over to the right. It's Okai. Sent into the middle, Kevin Kerr, but it's deflected away. Ross Tomaselli knocks it out along the touchline. Quick throw-in coming for Pittsburgh, is trying to make something happen here in the final 30 seconds of the half.
See if Cincinnati can keep their composure, keep their concentration.
Delbridge heads it away, but right onto the foot of Mulatto, who whiffs on a great look from 18 yards out.
Much to the pleasure of the Cincinnati fans.
The Bailey loved that. Throw in for FC Cincinnati. Kenny Walker looking towards John Harkes to see if he should hurry up and try to make something happen. Here's the ball. Delbridge headed it forward, and Mulatto got nothing but the bottom of his cleat with his left foot. There's the whistle from Brandon Artis. And 45 minutes in the books here at Nippert Stadium, much to the delight of 22,000 plus who are cheering a 1-0 advantage. Let's go down to the pitch. Lindsay is with John Harkes.
Coach, you're an attack-first kind of guy, but you guys have had to play from behind. It has to be nice leading 1-0 right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I think from a game management standpoint, you want to get the first goal if you can, and then from there you should build confidence. And we got to be a little bit more cohesive out of the back. I think we hesitated on a few plays. They're very good at catching the second ball. They anticipate very well. So I think if we if we come out second half, be a little bit more alert, preserve the lead as much as we can, and try to get the second one, we'll be better off.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, good words from John Harkes with FC Cincinnati on top 1-0. Thanks to a goal by Jimmy McLaughlin on the second effort. It's his second goal of the season. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Healthcare Management Group, providing greater care for greater Cincinnati. Welcome back to Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati leading Pittsburgh 1-0 with 45 minutes in the books. Tom Glitter, happy to be back with you, and we mentioned in the first half that some of the Bengals serving as honorary captains today, and now happy to be joined by defensive tackle Domata Peko. And Domata, I know you're a big soccer guy. You got a big smile on your face. Your kids are here with you today. Really an exciting atmosphere for you and the soccer community here in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it's really awesome, to see all the support from Cincinnati, and that's the main reason me and my family come out here is because we love the city, and Cincinnati FC has been doing a great job this season, and we just want to show our love and our support for them.
You know, it's not often that you see an NFL defensive tackle really, really passionate about soccer, but if you look at your social media, when there's games on in Europe, you're watching, you're tweeting pictures with your kids, wearing different jerseys, you're a big Man U fan. Where did your love for the game come from?
My love came for the game in 2002. I started playing this game called FIFA, and once I started playing that, I just started learning more about the European soccer, and I'm so excited that Cincinnati has a team now because me and my family are avid soccer fans, and it's good to come out here and see some quality games.
Yeah, I mentioned that you and a handful of your teammates were down on the field, as well as University of Cincinnati product Kevin Huber. But how great is it to see the community? You guys are down there, like I mentioned. You've been at other games. Kevin's been at other games. Other Bengals have been here. But just to see everybody come together and spend the summer cheering for FC Cincinnati.
Yeah, man, I think it's great. It's really good for the city. We've been hungry for some soccer, and sometimes Columbus is kind of far to go all the way out there, but it's really good to be here in Cincinnati and see some great soccer, and I'm really proud of the team. They're doing great, and we're here to support them.
I think one of the things that's really unique is that it's a 2-hour match. You know that it started at 4 o'clock today, that it's going to be over at 6 o'clock. You brought your kids on April 16th when it was a record crowd. Your kids are here with you today. Really a family affair being here at these matches?
Yeah, it is, man. The atmosphere is great. I see a lot of kids out here, and it's really fun for the city. My boys are having a great time here. They can't get the smiles off their face, and it's exciting for Cincinnati.
So a team in orange butting heads with a team in yellow and black. Never seen that before. Any rivalry? Did you give any words to those guys on the way off the field? Any words of encouragement?
Yeah, man. I just want to tell them continue to do their best. They're doing a great job. They're up 1-0 right now, and let's keep it going. Shout out to FC. Good job.
Absolutely. Domata, appreciate you taking some time to chat with us today.
Cool. Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
All right. He's Domata Peko. I am Tom Glitter. We are at the half. FC Cincinnati leading 1-0. Still much more to come here from Nippert Stadium. Highlights and the stats. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Highlights presented by Road Dog Logistics, one of Cincinnati's fastest growing companies. Road Dog Logistics, working like a dog to move your freight. And as we get a look at the halftime highlights, plenty of opportunities, Paul, for FC Cincinnati.
Sean Okoli being marked tightly by the Riverhounds, as he's a marked man now the rest of the league. Jimmy McLaughlin into Hollingsworth, the first hit. Checked him out.
Yep, ended up leaving the match. Tried to stay in and couldn't stay, but FC Cincinnati had a couple of chances, and then
Here's the combination for the goal. Back to Nicholson, finds a target. Coley, spin turns, puts it into Jimmy, gets the shot off, gets the rebound and tucks it in. Once again, great target ball, good shot, and good finish.
so FC Cincinnati with that tally leading 1-0. There's the shot that earned Pat McMahon a yellow card early.
Great save by Hildebrand. Read the ball that was pushed past the defender. It's out tight.
Great shot by
Cleared
Kevin
out.
Kerr there. Ended up catching a piece of Hildebrand and drawing blood. So Mitch Hildebrand got cleaned up and has a clean sheet through 45 minutes, looking for his first of the season. Let's take a look at the numbers from the first half. Score where it matters most. FC Cincinnati with the advantage. 7-4 on the shots. 5 saves for Mauricio Vargas. And I mentioned it earlier, Paul, doing a great job making his first appearance of the season.
That's right. He's, for not playing any minutes, he's certainly been steady after the first 10 minutes. Also, you got to look at the number of corners. Cincinnati has not had that many corners.
And they usually create a lot of opportunities in that regards. Not the case so far tonight.
And if they get those corners, once again, Pittsburgh is known pretty much for poor marking in the back there, at least to this point of the season. So, and that's Cincinnati's strength.
Well, the team's starting to file out of their locker rooms and get set for the second half. FC Cincinnati on top, 1-0. The final 45 minutes comes your way next. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Rockwood back with you at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati leading 1-0 at the half in the first ever meeting with the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. They're expecting a number north of 22,000, and so far the fans who came out to cheer for the home club are enjoying themselves. A goal from Jimmy McLaughlin and a lead for FC Cincinnati, who's looking for their 5th win on the season. John Harkes and his starters remain in the locker room, and we await an update from Lindsey Patterson once they come out. But Sean Okoli in the first ever match back on April 9th here at Nippert Stadium scored the first goal on this pitch, and boy did he do it in spectacular fashion, Paul.
It's a great second ball. Corbin Bone gets on top of it, flick up, side bike, side netting. Extraordinary.
It was voted the April goal of the month in the USL. There's no question that it is deserving based on the effort that we saw.
That will be close to a goal of the year. That happens.
Yeah, from the
So
first
unbelievably
month of the year, and I'd have to imagine that yes, it will be in consideration for goal of the year when it is all said and done. Certainly a memorable one that goes down in the history books as the first ever scored at Nippert Stadium. How do the standings look right now in the Eastern Conference? Well, FC Cincinnati tied with New York Red Bulls 2 with 14 points, trailing Louisville City by just 3 points. If FC Cincinnati wins today, they get the opportunity maybe to be tied with Louisville City. Right now, the Red Bulls are playing the Richmond Kickers, and they are tied. That's big because Richmond is right there behind FC Cincinnati. So a good look at what is going on. Two teams in that top tier of the East Conference battling, and then FC Cincinnati trying to pick up 3 more points. And you might say, hey, it's only the middle of May. It's too early. It's never too early to start accumulating points and try to find yourself atop the standings.
Points are points at this particular time of year, and you never know when they're going to come back, and if you don't pick them up, when they're going to come back and bite you later on in the season when you're looking at playoff positions.
And if you're FC Cincinnati, you certainly hope to leave here at 6 o'clock, head out, get some dinner, and have 3 points in your back pocket, and the opportunity, at least for the moment, to be tied with Louisville City and then see what they do this weekend. Pittsburgh already back out onto the pitch. Here comes FC Cincinnati streaming out of their locker room. Let's go down to the pitch and check in with Lindsey Patterson.
Guys, I had a chance to talk to assistant Jamie Starr. The message was pretty simple. Play your game, move the ball around more. They were seeing Pittsburgh getting a couple more attempts, but they just got to stop them, put some pressure on them in the second half.
All right, thanks, Lindsey. Good stuff. Down on the field, as always, Jamie Starr, the goalkeeper coach for FC Cincinnati, came over from Xavier University, where he actually was the goalkeeper coach for backup goalkeeper Dallas J., the California native, who's also a member of the Guam national team. And we mentioned in the first half, Mitch Hildebrandt really hoping for a clean sheet today. Jamie Starr rooting for it as well. I think the entire team, that it's not just a goalkeeper pride type of thing. It's a point of pride for everybody when you can come away with a clean sheet.
You want to do that for your keeper. He's coming in at times and saving you and cleaning up any messes that you make. And
goes
that's
both
what you
ways,
do for
right?
him.
Yeah,
exactly.
Absolutely. There's Jimmy McLaughlin, the hero so far, with the goal in the 27th minute for FC Cincinnati. They'll switch ends of the pitch. The home club in orange tops, blue shorts, and orange socks will work right to left here for the final 45 minutes. And Pittsburgh in their yellow kits with black stripes across their uniform tops will work left to right, and they will have the possession as we start the second half. Ball played forward and onto the foot of Kevin Kerr, who tries to turn it, but nobody home for Pittsburgh. Harrison Delbridge will send it the other way. Sean Okoli trying to catch up with it, but it is cleared out of bounds into the stands, and a throw-in coming from Corbin Bone. And he thought about going quick. Instead, he'll drop it and leave it for Tyler Pollock.
Just want to keep pushing up on Pittsburgh, pushing their backs deep in their own defensive third. Great turn.
Okoli with a pretty ball.
Great ball in
Sends
front.
it into the box. Wiedemann couldn't get to it, and Vargas gets there first. About maybe 6-8 inches too strong there for Andrew Wiedemann, Paul.
And he might have hesitated a little bit instead of cutting in front of the defender there.
Ross Tomaselli loses it, sent to the far side by Mulatto. And Pittsburgh trying to set up in their offensive third for the first time in the second half. Sent into the middle, header to Kerr. Defended away by Delbridge, nearly a dangerous situation on the foot of Drew Russell, but cleared by FC Cincinnati as they get out to the midfield. Coley taps it forward for Corbin Bone. Jimmy McLaughlin is pushed down, and a late whistle, but a foul and an easy call as Stephen Okai just pushes over Jimmy McLaughlin. Brandon Artis blows the whistle.
He is
FC
so
Cincinnati will get it
disruptive.
back.
He is so disruptive for Pittsburgh.
Here comes McLaughlin down the near sideline. Working
Great
towards
ball.
the goal in front of the Bailey. McLaughlin just outside the box, sends it across. Here's
Must
Coley.
be.
Coley looking for his left foot and played it forward about inches too strong.
Great cross in by Jimmy McLaughlin.
A great look for Coley off the pass.
The back heel right before that was just extraordinary.
Pat McMahon to Sean Coley. Coley in the box. Taps it to Kenny Walker, and the flag was up. FC Cincinnati's offsides. Sean Coley disagrees. 48th minute at Nippert Stadium. Tom Gladder alongside Paul Rockwood. FC Cincinnati with a 1-0 advantage as Mauricio Vargas, making his first appearance and start of the season, gets the goal kick for Pittsburgh out across midfield. All the way to the front of the box. Picked up, and Mitch Hildebrandt makes the save on the shot by Drew Russell. Let's go back to that
Great
last
ball
look.
here. Bone back heels it. Totally shocks the defensive player of Pittsburgh. Coley just a little bit too far out.
Maybe should have tried to strike the ball on the first look from McLaughlin.
Yeah, but when he makes his touch back in, the defender's body weight is going away from it, and then he wants to make himself open.
So it makes it difficult.
Yeah.
But Sean Coley makes a lot of difficult things look easy.
Oh, gosh.
Pittsburgh pushing to the offensive third, looking for an equalizer. Deflected away from Isaiah Schaefer. And now Schaefer will get a throw in as Corbin Bone disrupted the push. Schaefer, a first half substitution as he came in for Marshall Hollingsworth, who got dinged up and went in for an evaluation after 2 straight balls to the head.
Great pressure inside there. You had Wiedemann coming in, Kenny Walker, Corbin, all 3 of them forced that ball outside and out of bounds.
Went out along the touchline, off of Pittsburgh, throw in the direction of Sean Coley. He gets tangled up with Campbell, who will be called for the foul on FC Cincinnati. Right at midfield will get a restart. John Harkes in his first season leading FC Cincinnati, the Soccer Hall of Famer, former member of the U.S. national team, World Cup captain, with 4 wins in his first 8 matches with the club. Long ball for Kenny Walker. Campbell was there to challenge. Walker nearly faked him away from the ball, but it rolled out along the touchline, and here comes a throw-in for Pittsburgh. Deep in their defensive third. FC Cincinnati will look for an interception on the pass, bringing it back into play. Laughlin does that, but it ends up on the foot of Stephen Okai. Wiedemann back to Coley, and a big save by Vargas as he swats it up over the goal.
That was a great ball out to Wiedemann, and O'Coley was on his horse diagonally.
Sean Coley with a right-footed strike, and Mauricio Vargas, who has been tested throughout, comes up again. Pollock will get a corner kick from the far side of the pitch. He has Corbin Bone if he wants to go short, as well as Jimmy McLaughlin. Kenny Walker is directing traffic here in the 51st minute. Pollock into the box. Wiedemann's there, misses on it. McLaughlin picks it up. Working along the edge of the box, sends it into the middle. A Coley scissor kick, no. He was taken down in the box. John Harkes is not happy.
Calling for a handball there.
And that's exactly what John Harkes is saying.
The referee said, no, it is his upper arm. shoulder, chest area.
Parks is asking for an explanation. We have the ability to get a second look at it. Great ball from Jimmy McLaughlin to feed Sean Okoli. Okoli on the scissor kick, and it's hard to tell from behind if it went off the hand of Connor Branson.
If it was against Cincinnati, it would have been a PK.
It seems like whoever FC Cincinnati is playing gets a penalty kick just about every match. Corbin Bone, Sean Okoli tried to flick it back to Bone, but it was defended by Campbell, who played it to his goalkeeper, Vargas. Vargas is clear, goes out of bounds, throw in for the home club, who leads 1-0. Nearly a second goal for FC Cincinnati. Here comes Wiedemann. Wiedemann around his defender, intercepted and deflected away by Sergio Campbell. Quick throw in as FC Cincinnati is going to keep the pressure on. Wiedemann double teamed in the corner, has it taken away. Sent into the midfield. Paul Nicholson steps forward to deflect it. And then Pittsburgh going to play it up to the near side. Kevin Kerr brings it into the middle of the pitch. Far side on the run, Mulatto. Mulatto bringing it into the box. Mulatto trying to cross it into the middle. Did he play it off Paul Nicholson? Yes, he did. Corner kick for Pittsburgh.
Cincinnati got back real fast, got numbers up, doubled Akai. Or Mulatto, I'm sorry.
We saw Pittsburgh go with a short corner earlier. Are they going to try it again?
Cincinnati scouted this, and they had the
right into the hands of Mitch Hildebrand. Harrison Delbridge was knocked down. He wanted to see a whistle from the match official. Did not come. Quickly, Jimmy McLaughlin looking to make a run down the near sideline. Ends up being pushed out of bounds. And Brandon Artis is going to reach to his right pocket. And he will pull out a yellow card on Stephen Okai. The midfielder out of Ghana goes into the book in the 54th minute. Easy call for Brandon Artis as McLaughlin had him beat, and Okai hooked him and pushed him out of bounds.
Yeah, once you extend that arm, that's a foul.
Okai was drafted in the 2013 MLS draft by the Philadelphia Union. 23 appearances last year with Pittsburgh. Here comes the free kick for FC Cincinnati right at the offensive third, leading by a goal. Corbin Bone sends it in. Skips dangerously by Vargas and out of bounds. Touched last by FC Cincinnati. Not sure that anybody got a piece of it.
Looked like Wiedemann got a little bit nicked off his head and skipped by.
1-0 FC Cincinnati. Seen 3 yellow cards so far today. Sean Okoli having a conversation with Brandon Artis as they make their way to midfield. And Vargas will have to boot it away right in front of the bailey. Harrison Delbridge puts his noggin on it. As he does so, called for a foul, trying to gain position.
He just had his arms on top of the shoulders of the tackle.
Corey Herzog.
Corey Herzog, yeah.
Evo Mulatto looking to put it back into play for Pittsburgh in the midfield.
That's going to be a battle the rest of the game. It's Herzog and
all sent into the box. Willie Hunt couldn't get to it. Pollock heads it forward. Okai plays it back out to midfield.
Great pressure by Okoli up front.
Disruptive, so much so that it ends up on the foot of Wiedemann. He'll play it to the far side. McLaughlin. Here comes Jimmy again. And getting in there to break it up was Michael Green.
Great first touch down the line.
Seen a lot of those runs here tonight. It just shows how dangerous FC Cincinnati is when they can get loose.
That's what they've been working on all week of practice. They pull the ball back and then look to the outside.
Tyler Pollock to Ross Tomaselli. Tomaselli has it knocked away and does a good job of making sure it goes off the foot of Branson. Corner kick coming up.
Now, we talked earlier about Cincinnati not having very many corner kicks. There's 2 or 3 right now.
Picking them up here in the second half, Corbin Bone. He'll send it with his right foot from the near side. Into the box. Delbridge heads it. And Andrew Wiedemann picks it up. Looked like another head ball. Saved by Vargas on a strike from Wiedemann. Okoli leaves it for Delbridge. Delbridge turns left, foots it. And a whistle comes as the flag was up on the far side. Another look. Delbridge sent it over. Not a good clear by Drew Russell. And then Wiedemann got a great look, and Vargas another big save.
Vargas, that was a great save by him.
So playing his first minutes of the season, Mauricio Vargas has played very well against an explosive offense.
He's just gotten better as time has gone by.
This match could easily be 3-0 in favor of FC Cincinnati.
Absolutely.
Andrew Wiedemann, who just had the big look, picks it up and tries to play it into the middle. Now it goes off of Artis. Right off of his chest. Could it be to the benefit of FC Cincinnati? No, Corbin Bone can't get to it. And Vargas comes up about 12 yards off the line to scoop it up.
Jimmy McLaughlin, a brilliant ball right through the defense.
58th minute at Nippert Stadium. FC Cincinnati 1-1-1 at home this season. 4th home match of the year and leading 1-0. Ball played back to Mitch Hildebrand. Tried to send it over to Tyler Pollock, misfired and went way over his head out of bounds.
Very impressed with Herzog. Tireless worker.
Okai gets 2 defenders to fall down, doesn't shoot, leaves it for Milano, who skies it over the goal.
Still great pressure by Pittsburgh here.
Okai got Tomaselli and Kenny Walker to miss on the same play.
Yep. That's a great fake. He's so big and strong coming into the box. You have to go for the block.
Long ball up the far side for a Coley, goes over his head, and he is unable to track it down. Pittsburgh turning it the other way as the Bailey drums on. They've provided support throughout every home match, but certainly today as FC Cincinnati trying to win. And they're orange out here at home. Pittsburgh is caught offsides, going the other way.
Herzog and Pat McMahon were having that battle there. Smart play by Pat.
Herzog, 6 foot forward out of Reading, Pennsylvania. He led the NCAA in 2010 as a junior for the Nittany Lions in scoring 20 goals, 46 points. Decided at that point he was going to go pro. Ended up being drafted in the 2011 draft, 13th overall behind New York Red Bulls. Has 12 career MLS appearances, 1 goal. Played last year with Tampa Bay Rowdies of the NASL. Kenny Walker gets his head on it for FC Cincinnati. Pittsburgh able to regroup right at midfield and plays it forward to the near sideline. Harrison Delbridge got to it, but knocked it out of bounds as he got there. And it'll be Herzog, who we just talked about, throwing it in on the near sideline inside the offensive third for Pittsburgh. Riverhounds looking for an equalizer, trailing by a goal in the 60th minute. Herzog sends it into the box. It was headed down by Kerr and then comes back out along the near sideline.
Once again, it's a big weapon having that long throw in.
Exactly where I was going. Herzog again. No, you're fine. Mitch Hildebrand off the throw in and the deflection. Scoops it up and sends it forward for Sean Okoli. A little bit shorter than Okoli expected, so he had to come back to it.
Might be the wind in his face there.
Definitely has been a windy day at Nippert Stadium. Temperature in the high 40s. Not quite what you would expect for May 14th. Here's Wiedemann bringing it into the offensive third. Was looking for McLaughlin, who was making a run. Got intercepted by Pittsburgh. And the Riverhounds will turn it the other way. Kevin Kerr. Cross midfield as Kenny Walker catches up with him. Leaves it for Okai. Okai gets around Walker. Back to Kerr. Kerr into the middle. Delbridge sends it straight into the air. Wiedemann has to head it forward and away.
Okai's hurt.
Yeah, Okai is grabbing his left thigh, it looks like. So he will get medical attention. Pittsburgh was a team that was dinged up throughout the first half, and here's another here in the second half. So Okai will walk towards the Pittsburgh sideline. No substitute yet. FC Cincinnati has not used any of their allotted 5 substitutions so far. This is about the time. The 60th minute is about the time when we see, generally speaking, John Harkes go to the bench for the first time.
Yes, they're nursing some injuries and trying to keep guys fresh. 3 games in a week.
Okai signals that he is ready to return. We saw Omar Cummings, who has only come off the bench, save the last match against Harrisburg City, actually start last Saturday in order to preserve some minutes for the starters. He's certainly somebody who is a starter for John Harkes. He just working his way back from injury, hasn't yet established that role.
Correct.
No question he has the talent to be a regular starter for the club. Okai back in and gets a touch immediately. Over to his left, Mulatto. Mulatto pushing forward into the box. Pat McMahon knocks it away. And let's check in down on the sideline with Lindsey Patterson.
Short week for Cincinnati. The club will take on SL on Wednesday for the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Tournament. Second round game at Nippert. The winner goes on to play Tampa June 1st.
No question, the Lamar Hunt Cup, a very special event here in the country. You take teams from all different levels, throw them into a hat, and you have an opportunity. Doesn't matter if you're in the USL, the NASL, MLS, whichever league you're at or lower, you get a chance to prove you're the best in America.
Rochester Rhinos, they won it a couple years ago, beating MLS teams.
FC Cincinnati looking for numbers. Jimmy McLaughlin gonna have to wait for Sean Acoli to get onside. He does. Here comes Acoli into the box, tries to slide it by Vargas, and it catches the pole and goes out of bounds. A great look for Sean Acoli, who knows he missed by inches.
Great cross ball to Jimmy. Jimmy looks up, pushes it through. Sean came back on side.
Right off the post.
Right up, kisses the post.
That has to be the 5th or 6th time that Sean Acoli in the regular season has caught a crossbar or a post.
It's got to be frustrating, but he's a tough guy.
He's going to keep creating opportunities, right?
Yeah, you got to figure you've got to deal with so much failure up front because you're going to score basically 1 out of 10 shots.
Well, I have to imagine as well, Jimmy McLaughlin deflects it away for FC Cincinnati. And now it'll roll out of bounds and be a throw-in for Pittsburgh. But for Acoli, it's still a great deal of confidence. When you know you're hitting the crossbar or the post, you're darn close. He leads this club in scoring, and he knows that those opportunities are going to keep coming, and more of them are going to end up in the back of the net.
Yeah, he's got a steel mind. I'll tell you that. He just keeps going.
Kenny Walker and Acoli collide, ends up with a soccer ball on the foot of Pittsburgh. And the Riverhounds out across midfield to Kevin Kerr. And now it'll be Kerr bringing it up the near sideline. Sends it into the box. Past Mitch Hildebrand. Headed away by Pat McMahon. Not an ideal situation, but goes out along the end line. And a corner kick coming up for Pittsburgh and an opportunity for the visitors.
And when you got Hildebrand probably telling him get headed out because he had his back to the player, you got to do that. Quick corner kick.
Crossed into the box. Jimmy McLaughlin whiffs on it. Pittsburgh tried to explain to Brandon Artis that they thought it hit his hand. No whistle. And now Andrew Wiedemann cut down right in front of John Harkes. Artis doesn't even blow his whistle, and Harkes is going to have some questions for the match official following that contact.
That's right. And comes another chance with it. Wiedemann coming to the ball.
Get another look. And, yeah, there's no question that Sergio Campbell there is not playing the ball, right, Paul?
At the end, the ball was played away, but at the end, he was trying to scissors him.
At the very least, it should have been a foul. Jimmy McLaughlin now trying to push it forward at the offensive third, and a foul is called this time on Drew Russell. Laughlin's going to take his time getting up, which will allow FC Cincinnati to set up.
Look how Jimmy takes on the defender, and he's had to slow. For the Pittsburgh viewpoint, you had to slow him up.
And that's what Russell did by keeping his foot out there, right?
Exactly.
Shauna Coley, Kenny Walker, and Corbin Bone all collecting around the ball right now. Corey Herzog is there, setting up the wall. He's looking back at Vargas to get some direction. And Brandon Artis is asking that the wall back up a bit. Shauna Coley and Tyler Pollock are the remaining lads for FC Cincinnati, and now it'll be Shauna Coley's show. See what he can do in the 67th minute. Coley with his right foot right into the chest of Vargas. Rebound bounces out, but Vargas gobbles it up before Nicholson or Corbin Bone could get to it.
That was a great shot in front, and we just need somebody to follow up on it.
The saves continue to pile up for Mauricio Vargas. He got it off his hands, and I think, Paul, if you're the coaching staff for Pittsburgh, you want him to he's got to scoop that or fall forward onto it, right?
Onto his elbows and smother it.
If that bounces out another inch or two, then Paul Nicholson and Corbin Bone, who are converging on that ball, have a chance to poke it past.
They can just toe poke it by him.
Tyler Pollock will restart and send it into the box with his left foot. Delbridge heads it. Nicholson.
Stick on.
Coley was trying to scissor kick it and could not get to the ball. Now Coley is slow to his feet. He collided with Herzog, and both of the forwards are having a hard time regrouping. They're both standing now.
Over to Harrison, back across of Goma, deflection Paul.
Yeah. Coley came up high on Herzog with his cleat.
Paul Nixon.
And they booked Shauna Coley for the collision in the box. So a yellow card on Shauna Coley.
Yellow card number 9, Sean O'Coley, FC Cincinnati.
Administered here in the 69th minute. That's the 4th yellow card we have seen today for Coley. That is his 2nd yellow card on the season.
I mean, in the replay, you can see that Herzog leaned in a bit, and it could have gone either way on that one there. So
when a boot comes up high towards the face of another player, odds are that you're going to end up seeing
a yellow one.
Right. Sure. The attendance number is in 23,375, which is a new USL record on all fronts. Regular season, playoffs, does not matter. A record attendance of 23,375. First substitution coming for John Harkes. Corbin Bone checks out in the 70th minute, and Eric Stevenson checks in.
Substitution for
Stevenson, a midfielder out of Columbus, was a second-round MLS draft pick in 2014 by the New York Red Bulls. Played at Akron, where he won a national championship in 2010. Kenny Walker trying to turn it forward for FC Cincinnati. 20 minutes plus stoppage time remaining. McLaughlin nearly a great ball to Shauna Coley was intercepted by Pittsburgh. And feels like the second half really has flown by as you look at the clock, and FC Cincinnati trying to push forward, wear some more time off, but get another goal and a little bit of insurance as well.
Right, and keep Pittsburgh on their heels back in their own half, because you don't want them just to eke one out on some fluke.
Delbridge in the defensive third, down the near sideline, a bit long for a Coley, who will battle in the corner with Campbell. Coley gets up, nearly taken down by Campbell, sends it for Eric Stevenson, who had a goal at Orlando City B. a week and a half ago, his first of the season. Stevenson has now played in 5 matches this season.
Definitely a dangerous player coming in off the bench.
Somebody that is an offensive spark for FC Cincinnati. Coughlin getting into the box.
Good push.
Gets around Campbell, and Vargas recognizes it, knows he has to come outside of the 6-yard box and grab the loose ball.
Once they push it by the defender, that's the signal for the keeper to go.
FC Cincinnati on top 1-0. First ever meeting between Cincinnati and Pittsburgh in the USL. These clubs, these cities have met in Major League Baseball. They have met in the NFL. They have had heated rivalries for years. And another one born today here at Nippert Stadium, where the sun has come out here late in the second half. Ball rolls out on the near sideline. Also important to note, since we are here at the University of Cincinnati, that UC and Pitt have had a heated rivalry over the years. The football teams played for the River City rivalry until they ended up in different conferences. Substitution coming for Pittsburgh, and a yellow card was administered away from the ball. As you see Okai come out, Ryan Dotson in.
15, Ryan Dotson.
Campbell got the yellow card, I believe.
Sergio Campbell booked in the 73rd minute. Kenny Walker clears it, but Kerr picks it up, sends it into the box. McMahon sends it out on the near sideline. So I did not see what happened with Sergio Campbell that earned him the booking, but he picks up the yellow card.
I did. Maybe the linesman over there wired it to the ref.
That is his first of the season. Tomaselli sends it out to midfield. Okoli gets knocked down. Foul is called, and Okoli is slow to his feet. Keep up to date with the USL all season long by visiting the new USLsoccer.com for everything you need to know about the USL. Take another look at the collision that brought Sean Okoli down.
Yeah, yes.
Oh,
his leg,
well,
knee. Looks like a
thigh maybe, or
you know when you knock your knees on a little kid and it just.
Sergio Campbell collided with Okoli, and now Aaron Powell, the trainer for FC Cincinnati, comes out to midfield to chat with Okoli. So the knee came to the thigh. It may have been to his chest or groin. Well, it's certainly possible as well. So Sean Okoli getting some medical attention and slow to his feet. As Brandon Artis comes over, he asked potentially why there was not a booking on the collision there at midfield. Campbell will come over and apologize for the contact as Okoli will take his time walking towards the FC Cincinnati bench and regrouping. So the call from FC Cincinnati owner Carl Lindner III was for $25,000. I don't think that Carl's going to be disappointed with $23,375 here in Nippert Stadium.
No, you have state cups going on this time of day in different places, Dayton, Ohio, and
the fans have shown up in a big way all season long. This club's averaging about 17,000 per match through the first 4 home contests this year.
I mean, you go right from the top of the organization. It's stunning. Just how well everything's going, how the city's responded, how the clubs put a great product on the field. You got great coaches, the whole staff.
The front office, kudos to them, and especially the ticket staff for putting together an electric atmosphere here at Nippert Stadium. We are not done. 76th minute, FC Cincinnati 1, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. Tyler Pollock trying to keep it in along the touchline, loses it. Here comes Kerr, sends it into the box, deflects off a Delbridge. Mitch Hildebrandt can't get to it before it goes out along the end line, and a corner coming up for the Riverhounds. Student section was still packed there behind the goal that Pittsburgh is attacking right now. Even though school's out at UC, graduation over at Xavier today.
This will be a big test right here, concentration.
No question. I think we've heard from John Harkes throughout the season, and he has said that he wants that focus for 90 minutes. This is not the time for FC Cincinnati to have a lapse and allow Pittsburgh to gain some confidence and try and get an equalizer. A lot of chaos going on in the box. Headed away by Pat McMahon as the cross came in. Pittsburgh will push forward with Mulatto. Tyler Pollock on the near side, turns it forward. Jimmy McLaughlin going to try to track it down, but Pittsburgh gets there first. It was Michael Green catching up with it. Check it. Goes out towards John Harkes and the FC Cincinnati bench. It'll be a throw-in for Tyler Pollock. Remember, FC Cincinnati is home again on Wednesday. Lindsay mentioned it earlier. The U.S. Open Cup. Jimmy McLaughlin to Eric Stevenson, who didn't quite get there. Deflected away by Pittsburgh. Corner kick coming 7 o'clock on Wednesday. First U.S. Open Cup match for this club. They will take on the Indy 11 PDL squad. Of course, they played the Indy 11 NASL squad to a draw in the preseason. This is their PDL squad that's coming in after a win against the Cincinnati Dutch Lions last week. Corner kick coming from the near sideline. Jimmy McLaughlin sends it into the box. Paul Nicholson making a run, much like the goal he scored back on April 30th against Wilmington. Did not get to it. It was headed out of bounds. And a corner kick will come from the far side now. It'll be Tyler Pollock's turn with his left foot to send it to the box.
Last time he had the corner, he really drove the ball into the box and caused so much havoc there.
Defender Derek Luke is at midfield. We'll get a chance to check in at the next opportunity. It will be his 8th appearance of the season.
See, when Walker goes out there, that pulls extra defenders out of there.
Pollock
Back
into
in the
box.
middle.
Nicholson to a Coley, and Vargas diving forward intercepted it. Mauricio Vargas completely mishit it and sent it about 15 rows into the stands afterwards, but he did a great job in a dangerous situation.
Here's the cross in. Headed back across.
Coley was right there, but Vargas read it perfectly.
Great anticipation.
Again, Mauricio Vargas. Might sound like a broken record, but he has been spectacular today for Pittsburgh.
He certainly kept them in.
No question. Tyler Pollock checks out following his corner kick duties. Derek Luke, as I mentioned, the defender out of New Jersey in. Foul is called on Pittsburgh, and here comes a dangerous free kick in the offensive third for FC Cincinnati, who will push forward and try to get an insurance goal.
And Pittsburgh is trying to hang on to this 0-1 situation for them. They're bringing Elliott back and from the front to defend.
Derek Luke with his left foot into the box, over the head of a Coley, cleared away by Pittsburgh, all the way out to midfield, where you can see the sun is suddenly shining bright on the Queen City. Pat McMahon to Harrison Delbridge, headed it in the direction of Sean Coley, but a bit too strong as Coley couldn't catch up with it.
He jumped right in front of the defender, who was kind of nonchalant about it.
10 minutes remaining in regulation, plus stoppage time. Had a couple injuries here in the second half, so I'd imagine we'll see a few minutes of added time from the fourth official. Lebo Mulatto making a run in front of the box, loses his touch, then regroups. Pittsburgh trying to continue to push forward and find an equalizer. Over to the right side, Kerr sends it into the box. Delbridge deflects it away before it can get to Mitch Hildebrand, and another corner coming up for Pittsburgh.
Desperation tackle, and it worked.
Kevin Kerr.
Stretch that 6'4" body out there.
Use all of that Australian frame. Hildebrandt gave him a big high five after the defensive effort. Substitution coming here, Isaiah Schaefer, who came in the first half after Hollingsworth got hurt, will come out. And we will see Alex Harley, the midfielder, check in for the first time. He is the nephew of Crystal Palace forward Emmanuel Adebayor. Had 21 appearances in the last 2 years with the Atlanta Silverbacks of the NASL. And Harley making his 3rd appearance of the season as he checks in. Zach Boggs has come out to midfield to check in as well as forward out of West Virginia.
Zach Boggs for number 11.
Boggs checks in for Corey Herzog.
Also for Pittsburgh, number 14.
Boggs is an IMG Academy product. Was the 31st overall pick of the 2010 MLS draft. Here comes the corner. Kerr sends it in. Headed way out of play and wide of Mitch Hildebrandt. No danger, as it was Ryan Dotson who got forward, got his head onto it, but not in the direction of Mitch Hildebrandt.
And they brought Boggs in last week to try to get some offensive thrust late in the game. So we'll see what he does.
Evan Lee will make his 2nd appearance of the season. He was dinged up in the preseason, was not ready when the regular season began, and he will replace Ross Tomaselli here in the 83rd minute.
I thought Tomaselli was unsung today. Not real flashy, but he was always in those little spots where he needed to be.
Lee, the defender,
for number 5, Ross
out of Toledo, Ohio. And you're talking about Ross Tomaselli, no question. He's in there to be more of a defensive midfielder for John Hark. So you don't hear his name as often because he's not pushing forward on the offensive possession often, but he does a great job. He knows when he needs to slide back, help out the defenders, and has been so consistent so far this year in the midfield for John Harks. McLaughlin taps it forward in the direction of Sean Okoli. And it's played out of bounds along the touchline by Pittsburgh. Throw in coming for FC Cincinnati. 84th minute, 1-0.
Just seems like Jimmy's got some kind of psychic thing going with Okoli.
McLaughlin, I think, has had a great match. Into the middle, Vargas was tracking it, and a bit too strong as it goes over the head of Vargas and out of bounds wide to his left.
And right into Vargas, looking into the sun as well.
We have yet to see either of the Omars for FC Cincinnati's gaffer. The veteran Omar Cummings, the oldest player on the roster at 33, or the youngster Omar Mohammed at 19 years old. We usually see his young legs around the 75th or 80th minute to come in and give FC Cincinnati an attacking boost. Eric Stevenson certainly can provide that. Here we go into the offensive third, well defended by Willie Hunt. Kenny Walker back to Pat McMahon. Over to Eric Stevenson. Again, Willie Hunt there to mark him and disrupt the attack. Andrew Wiedemann then gets tied up with Hunt and is called for the foul.
Just some great interplay right there between the 3 players for Cincinnati. Just like a half yard where it was intercepted.
Isaiah Schaefer touches it forward, and then Mulatto knocks it out along the touchline as Derek Luke was tracking it down. Luke going to take his time, setting to throw it in. Sean Okoli taps it in the direction of Eric Stevenson, and then McLaughlin picks it up, and guess who he finds? Okoli, just outside the box. Sends it into the middle. Campbell knocks it out. Corner kick coming up for FC Cincinnati. And, Paul, I don't expect John Harks to change the way that this team attacks, but I'd have to imagine on the corner kicks, we'll let a few extra seconds run off.
Yes, they're just going to get the ball, kind of walk over, set it. Maybe somebody come from the back.
We just announced the record attendance here at Nippert Stadium, 23,375. Cross to the box. Shot onto the hands from Evan Lee, and Vargas is there to make the save. Now Lee has to make the big run the other way as Pittsburgh is pushing, looking for a late equalizer. 86th minute, 1-0 FC Cincinnati. Kerr trying to turn it into the middle, lost it along the end line, and a goal kick coming up for Mitch Hildebrandt. Again, the Riverhounds without a win this season, 0-3-3. All 3 of their road matches have ended
in a draw. All 3 of their home matches have ended in a loss.
That was a great effort by Kenny Walker back there, going all the way back and slide tackling, and the guy faked himself out basically. We get a goal kick.
Mitch Hildebrand send it into the midfield. Luke Spencer is there at midfield to check it in. And Hildebrandt's ball to midfield, skips out of bounds right in front of Spencer. Not the plan of action. Spencer will check in for Sean Coley. Coley with an assist today on what is right now the go-ahead goal for FC Cincinnati. And Coley's going to get a nice round of applause from 23,000 plus as he heads to the bench.
Well deserved.
Spencer, his 5th appearance on the season. He's had a pair of shots on goal. Of course, a product of Xavier University and a native Cincinnatian. Jimmy McLaughlin trying to pick it up along the near touchline. Ends up being Paul Nicholson turning it forward to Luke Spencer. Spencer trying to get around Campbell, who had him wrapped up. Finally, the whistle comes from Brandon Artis. A foul is called, and FC Cincinnati at midfield will get a restart opportunity.
Well, Coley's a big man, and he's substituted by a big man, Luke Spencer. Big and strong.
McLaughlin outside the box. With a left foot, sends it in, headed away. Will go out of bounds, throw in coming. I'm going to say FC Cincinnati touched it last. No, it's a throw in for FC Cincinnati. I didn't know how. Okay, Pittsburgh did a good job of selling it. They fooled me.
He just wanted to speed up the play there.
Keep things moving. Get into the hands of Derek Luke. Deflected again, and Luke will throw it in deep in the offensive third. Onto the chest of Luke Spencer. Spencer will lose it along the end line, and the ball will go over to Vargas for a goal kick. Now we turn to the 89th minute. Expect maybe 3 minutes of stoppage time to come from the 4th official. I have yet to receive that indication.
Can Cincinnati take this through to get the final half of the clean sheet?
Clean sheet was your top key coming into the match tonight. Ball sent into the middle. Onto the right foot of Kurt. Plays it over to his left foot. Deflected away by Derek Luke. Back into the box. Andrew Wiedemann playing back. Taps it forward to Paul Nicholson. Nicholson will keep it in play. Try to get it to Luke Spencer. The lone FC Cincinnati forward playing towards the midfield, and then Pittsburgh back the other way. The flag is up, and they are offsides. So Mitch Hildebrand will get to bring it back into play, and again, we'll allow a few extra ticks to come off the clock. FC Cincinnati with 14 points. 3 more would put them into a tie for the moment with Louisville City FC atop the Eastern Conference.
That would be just what these guys have earned, worked hard for. It'd be just a fantastic week for the club.
Luke Spencer back to Jimmy McLaughlin. Now forward to Spencer. Spencer pulling it towards the corner. Double team defensively. McLaughlin keeps it in along the touchline, and now Jimmy McLaughlin is tossed to the pitch after the whistle. The Bailey not happy about that. And Pittsburgh will waste no time getting it back into play. Eric Stevenson there to intercept. Campbell turns it backwards. Pittsburgh has no time to go in the wrong direction. Eric Luke heads it into the Pittsburgh bench. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Can FC Cincinnati close out their 2nd home win on the campaign and their 5th victory of the season? Mulatto and Harrison Delbridge, nearly a dangerous tackle at the top of the box. Headed away by Evan Lee. Ball played forward for Jimmy McLaughlin, who will not get there first. Instead, it's Isaiah Schaefer, but he falls down and McLaughlin picks it up. Then McLaughlin tries to draw a foul, cannot. Pittsburgh across midfield. Riverhounds looking for an equalizer. Derek Luke sends it forward. Back to Mulatto. Taps it into the box. Zach Boggs picks it up. Corner kick coming up as Kenny Walker broke it up. Omar Muhammad. Quick legs of the youngster from Columbus set to check in for FC Cincinnati. About 3 minutes of stoppage time remaining.
Let's see if Cincinnati can get the outlet pass and then hold on to it rather and bring other players up into the play to kill this game.
Everybody is back defensively, except for the substitution, Jimmy McLaughlin. Omar Muhammad will come in, and a little bit of gamesmanship there will take a few extra seconds off the clock.
Yes. And they'll be complaining about it too in the box. The Pittsburgh players will be.
Muhammad will sprint to the box to help out his mates defensively. We are in stoppage time. 1 goal lead for FC Cincinnati. It's Muhammad who deflects it away on the corner. Ball headed back into the middle. Mitch Hildebrandt picks it up on his right foot, was going to let it roll out, then decided to keep it in play, and now he will scoop it up and allow everybody to push forward and the clock to continue to run. About halfway through 4 minutes of stoppage time. 1-0, FC Cincinnati on top. Looking for 3 points here at home. Omar Muhammad. Back to Luke, who plays it forward to Muhammad, who can't quite catch up with it. And Delbridge picks up a foul at midfield, came over the back of Zach Boggs. Boggs was asking for a booking, won't get it. But a restart will come for Pittsburgh right in midfield.
Looks like Pittsburgh just going to lump it back into the backside there. Good pressure by Luke Spencer.
And he takes it away at midfield. Spencer going to tap it over to his left, Omar Muhammad. Muhammad into the middle, looking for Wiedemann, diving header, no. Vargas tapped it away as Wiedemann came across the box.
Great run by Wiedemann, all the way from midfield, and took a diving header. However, Vargas punched it out.
Pittsburgh maybe one last opportunity. Harley.
Great pressure.
Over to his left, and FC Cincinnati disrupts. Wiedemann 1-on-4 the other way, just needs to go straight to the corner now. That is exactly what he's going to do. Harley chasing him. Wiedemann is going to let the clock continue to run.
Moments till a clean sheet, Tom.
And now Wiedemann being dragged in the corner by Harley, who wasn't happy about Wiedemann pulling it away, but he did exactly what you're coached to do, right?
You are told to do that. This time of the game.
You know that there are seconds remaining before the whistle from Brandon Artis.
There it is.
And there it is, a clean sheet for Mitch Hildebrandt and FC Cincinnati, and 3 crucial points for John Harkes. FC Cincinnati with a 1-0 victory. As we go down to the pitch, Lindsay is with John Harkes.
Coach, I'm going to grab you. Coach, you said earlier in the week that this Pittsburgh team was better than their...
This is incredible, but you know, here we see a situation that the crowd can continue to push us on and get that energy. We won the battle today. You know, full credit to Pittsburgh. That's a team that's very organized, you know, individually and collectively as a group. And we knew that it was going to be, if it takes a special goal from us, then we're going to have to fight for everything we have. When we have the fan base that we have, whether it be here all the way through the stadium, which is amazing, these guys get lifted up and it pushes them out for victory. And I know this meant a lot to this city to get a victory over Pittsburgh. What I'm really proud of is that we got a clean sheet today, that we didn't concede a goal. Something that we took pride in working on in training this week, so I'm very happy for the guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, Lindsay. Tonight's moment of the match is brought to you by Cincy Brew Bus, Cincinnati's original and premier craft brewery, winery, and distillery tours. And no question, Paul, the moment of the match is the game-winning goal by forward Jimmy McLaughlin.
Paul Nicholson into Okoli. Jimmy hits it, gets the rebound, and tucks it home.
The second effort goal by Jimmy McLaughlin, the moment of the match, and the game-winning goal for FC Cincinnati, who gets the victory in front of 23,375. We will give you the highlights and sign off after a quick break. This is FC Cincinnati Soccer. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Tom Glenner and Paul Rockwood back with you at Nippert Stadium, where FC Cincinnati now tied atop the Eastern Conference with Louisville City FC, who plays later tonight. 17 points for each of the clubs. Tonight's post-match highlights are brought to you by Toyota. For all Toyota offers, including those not seen on TV, go to Toyota's official website for deals at buyatoyota.com. And let's take a look. Early on, Pittsburgh had some opportunities, Paul.
Hildebrand read that perfectly, came out, snuffed it out. Got injured in the moment.
Blood was cleaned up. He stayed in the match. Mitch is tough, and he got his clean sheet tonight. That was when he faced his biggest challenge. Vargas at the other end made some big saves.
Corbin, great shot. Coley, same thing. For somebody who hasn't played a minute in the USL all year this year.
And then here's the goal to give FC Cincinnati the win.
Target play, holds off your defender, plays at the Jimmy. Jimmy shot, near post.
Ended up being the deciding goal for FC Cincinnati. Jimmy McLaughlin, his second goal of the season. Once again, our final score from Nippert Stadium, FC Cincinnati 1, Pittsburgh Riverhounds 0. Our next broadcast of USL Soccer on WSTR and ESPN 1530 comes your way 2 weeks from tonight. Saturday, May 28th, when FC Cincinnati welcomes the Harrisburg City Islanders to the pitch. The action begins at 7 p.m. For sideline reporter Lindsey Patterson, my broadcast partner Paul Rockwood, our producer David Ashbrock, and production manager Mike Bacon, I'm Tom Gletter saying so long from Nippert Stadium. Good night.